Today at the Rylee Ranch, we're talking about the fish of the Rylee Ranch. And this Fahaka puffer was the size of a green pea when we got him. And he's getting pretty big.
I had to zoom in so much with my camera because he was so small.
Now, we knew this guy was going to get big. So when we got an aquarium for him, we got a huge aquarium for him. And we set it up with lots of plants and lots of light and lots of space. But you know what the problem is? A lot of people buy little tiny fish from the pet store and they get a little aquarium and they're like, oh, this will be great. And then a year passes and they're like, I don't have money or space or time for this. And then we have a fish problem. And then you think when you see those little koi at the pet store and you're like, that's a great idea. Those koi get huge and they need a lot of filtration. They cost a lot of money and they need a lot of water changes. See these koi? They were pretty small when we got them. And look at the size of this beast right now. We're constantly needing to upgrade him to a larger enclosure.
So yeah, you get these little tiny fish and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger. They start outgrowing their tank. Their water quality starts going downhill. You got to spend more money, get bigger filtration. And then all of a sudden one day they're still too big and they need to move out.
And then you come into my bedroom and I got these bala sharks and now look at the size of them. They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And apparently they get really, really big. But at the Rylee Ranch, we have the resources and time and ability to get larger enclosures for them. A lot of people can't. These are great schooling fish though. They do great together, but they get huge and they're gonna need a bigger house.
See, they also start out really small and then they get really, really big.
And you know, years ago when I started the Rylee Ranch, I went to the pet store and I got those little tiny guppy fish for 25 cents because I wanted to save them from getting eaten. But what I didn't think of at the time is those little tiny guppy fish got huge and they turned into giant goldfish. This is one of the aquariums here at the Rylee Ranch and there's 4 goldfish in here.
See, those little tiny feeder goldfish, they started out tiny and then they grew and they grew and they grew and they grew and they grew. And then you need bigger aquariums.
And some of those little guppies turned into these fancy little fish. So these guys are in their own aquarium. In the kitchen, we have 2 more that are kind of funny looking guys. They moved into this aquarium. And you think that'd be it, but you go into my toy room that Zane has, and we had the white goldfish that were in there too. And do you guys mind? The dogs are always bothering me here. They turned into these big fancy white fish, so they got their own enclosure. And you got to keep buying more and more and more and more aquariums. And then we have more aquariums downstairs for these 3 goldfish. So when you get a goldfish, just remember, those things get huge, they poop a lot, and they need a lot of space. And they require a lot of cleaning. And we even got this little angelfish here at the Rylee Ranch.
And even this angelfish was really small when we got him, and now he's huge.
Good fish to get. If you're looking for a nice little fish that doesn't need a lot of space, these little neon tetras. They're happy in their little family, they're pretty easy to maintain, and they don't need a lot of space.